From the outside, their marriage looked calm and glowing. He smiled easily in public, spoke softly, and knew exactly how to impress a room. At home, though, his words shifted, becoming mirrors that always reflected only himself. She noticed it in small ways at first, how every conversation circled back to him, how her joys were interrupted, how her pain was dismissed with clever phrases. He loved being admired, and she loved believing in love, so she kept excusing what felt wrong. Still, she held on to sweetness, telling herself that patience could soften anyone. She didn't know yet that love alone cannot heal someone who refuses to see beyond their own reflection. He praised her loudly when others were listening, calling her his strength, his blessing, his pride. But when they were alone, silence became his weapon, and approval was given only when she agreed with him. Slowly, she learned to measure her words. Whenever she tried to share her dreams, he redirected the moment back to his struggles and victories. If she succeeded, he reminded her how much he had supported her. If she failed, he quietly enjoyed the upper hand. Yet, she remained gentle, believing that kindness would eventually teach him empathy. She didn't realize he mistook her softness for weakness. One evening, she confronted him with careful words, hoping honesty would open a door. He listened with folded arms and a calm smile that never reached his eyes. Then he flipped the story, making her feel guilty for even speaking. By the end of the conversation, she was apologizing for emotions he had caused. He held her hand and told her she was too sensitive, planting doubt where confidence once lived. That night, she cried silently, not because she didn't love him, but because she was starting to lose herself. The marriage became a stage where he was always the lead. He controlled the mood, the narrative, and the peace of the home. When things went well, it was his doing. When they didn't, it was her fault. She began journaling in secret, writing down moments just to remind herself that they were real. Seeing the words on paper helped her understand that she wasn't imagining the imbalance. Still, her heart hoped for change, clinging to the man he had pretended to be at the beginning. His charm never failed outsiders, but cracks began to show when he couldn't control every outcome. When she started setting small boundaries, his tone changed, sharp and confused. He didn't understand why she was changing. She explained calmly that she needed respect, not perfection. He laughed it off, telling her she was lucky to have someone who put up with her emotions. For the first time, something firm rose inside her, a quiet strength that no longer wanted permission to exist. The turning point came when she chose herself one morning, refusing to shrink. She spoke clearly, without anger, and named the patterns he avoided. The room felt heavy, like truth had taken all the air. He reacted with denial, then blame, then silence. He expected her to chase him, to beg for peace, as she always did. This time she didn't. That silence changed everything because it showed him he was losing his audience. Days passed, and for the first time, he felt unseen. Without her constant validation, his confidence shook. He realized how much he depended on her patience to maintain his image. When he finally spoke, his voice lacked its usual smoothness. He admitted fear, not of losing her love, but of facing himself without applause. She listened quietly, not rushing to comfort him, learning that listening didn't mean surrender. He began to see moments he had ignored before, her quiet sacrifices, her steady presence, her uncelebrated strength. The realization didn't make him a hero overnight, but it humbled him. For the first time, he apologized without excuses. Not to win her back, but because the truth had become too loud to deny. She accepted the apology carefully, knowing words mattered less than change. Their relationship shifted into unfamiliar territory. She spoke freely now, and he learned to listen without interrupting or correcting. Some days were awkward, some painful, but they were honest. He struggled with letting go of control, often catching himself mid-sentence. Each time, he chose differently, learning that love wasn't a performance. She rediscovered laughter, not forced or cautious, but real and light. This sweetness returned slowly, built on mutual respect instead of admiration. He celebrated her without inserting himself into her joy. She supported him without losing her voice. They learned that love could be gentle without being silent, that strength didn't need dominance to exist. For the first time, their home felt balanced, not perfect, but peaceful. Looking back, she understood how close she came to disappearing. He understood how close he came to losing something priceless. Growth had cost them comfort, but it gave them truth. They no longer pretended love was easy. They treated it as something living, requiring care from both sides. What once was a narcissist's mirror had become a shared window. Their story didn't end with magic, but with choice, daily, intentional choice. He chose humility over ego. She chose herself without abandoning love. Together, they rewrote what their marriage meant, proving that sweetness can survive even deep flaws when accountability leads the way. And the lesson remained clear. Love doesn't thrive where one person shines alone, but where two people are finally willing to see each other.